Hi guys, Rob Sivulka again. Welcome to this week's first class on Mormonism versus Christianity. This week we're going to be looking at the subject of feelings and are they trustworthy? This is quite a fundamental issue, not just for determining your religious beliefs, but for any area of your life. I don't need to tell you that our country and our world is in quite a state of turmoil today. We have lost the ability to think straight, and we're addicted to our feelings. We allow our feelings to have free rein in determining all our actions. I'm sure you've heard it said, well, if it feels good, do it. If it doesn't, don't do it. Just follow your heart. And we hear this over and over and over again. But wait a minute. Why follow your heart? And what if our hearts are really, as the Bible describes them, as corrupt? I mean, Jeremiah 17 verse 9 says, the heart is deceitful above all else. Who can know it? Proverbs 14 verse 12 says, there is a way that seems right, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So if that's the case, then shouldn't we be looking for a better source, something outside ourselves to light our way? As parents, we don't want our kids to do whatever they want to do we? I mean, sure, in trivial matters, like whether they want to go outside and play on the trampoline or play cornhole, of course we don't care how they feel, and we don't care what they end up doing. However, when it comes to whether they should serve their siblings or whether they should take a knife to them, of course we care what they feel like doing, and more importantly, we care what they end up doing. In such a circumstance, duty trumps feelings. We want to instill in them a sense of duty to not only obey their parents, but to serve their siblings, even when us parents aren't around. We want our kids to hear the word mature. We want them to not only know what the right thing to do is, but we want them to be able to do it, and to do it even when all their feelings are telling them otherwise. In addition, we want to inculcate in our kids proper feelings for their siblings, because we know how important and influential feelings are. Now, would you grant that not all religions can be true? I mean, they fundamentally contradict each other. Some, like certain versions of Buddhism, say there is no God. Others say there is, but then they debate on whether God is a he, she, or an it. And if he is a he, what kind of he is he? Is he a human like us who became a god, as Mormons tell us? Or is he a radically different type of being, even though we resemble him in certain ways? If there is religious truth, then certainly not all religions can count as true. Corrupt or at least imperfect hearts would give us imperfect, corruptible, and false religions. However, the perfect heart would give us perfect, incorruptible, and true religion. Now, if religion is really the most important question in life, then do you really think it's wise to simply go with how we feel? I mean, we don't operate that way when it comes to making financial decisions, purchasing our cars or TVs. So why do we think about like this when it comes to religion. I mean, perhaps religion just isn't that valuable to you. Perhaps it's like a flavor of ice cream. You like it, and that's all that can be said about it. But if you take religion to be more important than ice cream, you take it to be something that's actually true, whether you choose to believe it or not, then shouldn't we be looking for a better source outside of ourselves to light our way? I mean, we all feel differently from each other. Why is your feeling more trustworthy than my feeling? I mean, your feeling might be very persuasive for you, but why should I care about it? Now, at this point, we hear from LDS and many others, including many Christians, by the way. You just read it over, study it, and go straight to the source. Ask God, and He'll reveal the truth of it unto you. Well, this sounds nice, but how exactly does God do this to one? And why think that there's a God in the first place? The answer for many is simply you get a feeling and the fruit of the Spirit. In a 1997 Ensign article entitled Teaching and Learning by the Spirit, LDS Apostle Dallin Oaks, who's now in the First Presidency, by the way, refers to revelation as a feeling. But is revelation really a feeling? Revelation is either external or internal. If it's external, then it's not clear why we would think of this as a feeling. If it's internal, then why think that it originates from God? I mean, there are other sources for internal stuff that goes on within us, right? Why think that it comes from God? And even if it does come from God, why think that it has anything to do with the truth? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11 is clear that the Almighty can send those who rebel against Him a strong delusion that they would believe a lie. In the Old Testament, 1 Kings chapter 22, God sends a lying spirit to the prophets to persuade the king of Israel to go to war, that he would be successful against Ramoth Gilead. Well, obviously that didn't happen. There are all sorts of contradictory religions out there that claim to have a feeling of the Spirit and the fruit of the Spirit. But they can't all be true because they contradict each other. And truth doesn't contradict truth. If it did, I don't even know what that would mean. It would literally be nonsense. So I submit to you that we need to be at least open to being corrected by something other than what's going on in here, in our feelings. Because obviously feelings may or may not be leading us in the right direction. Now let me quickly close this off by saying a word of prayer for you. Holy Father, I pray for these that are listening, that are studying and trying to show themselves approved unto you. People that are just trying to figure out what to believe. Lord, I pray that you might have mercy on them, that you might give them eyes to see and ears to hear, and that you might keep Satan from them, and that they might experience who you really are, truth, eternal. And God, please have mercy on these people. I love them. I'm thankful that they're taking this class. And I pray your blessing on them. In your Son's name, Jesus, the name above all other names, I pray. Amen.